Welcome back to the Fight Pit, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boys. We are here covering every single UFC card every single time they have one, baby. Giving you our predictions, our breakdowns, our bet picks, and just having a grand old time. Today, we got a good one for you. We are covering UFC 314. Volkanovski versus Lopes, going down Saturday, April 12th at the Kaseya Center in Miami, Florida. Intro music.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am, who don't understand. Yeah, that's overdue. My trophy say that's overdue.
Welcome back to the Fight Pit, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us as always. Welcome back to all 470 something subscribers. Welcome to anybody that's new. If you're seeing us for the first time, appreciate you for joining us in the Fight Pit. Hope you enjoy it. And we are always representing, of course, the Fight Pit, the House Call Sports Fight Pit. And we are always covering every single UFC card, especially the big pay-per-views, which is what we are looking at today. We are going to jump in and let you know about UFC 314 Volkanovski versus Lopes for the vacant featherweight title. Going down Saturday, April 12th in Miami, Florida. We got two Florida boys in the house. We got the resident Florida experts, so you know it's going to be good. It's going to be a good card. We would cover the entire card top to bottom, but with the new setup, with the new layout and everything, we got the trivia, we got the recaps and stuff. We're going to cover the prelims up, and we're going to hash over the early prelims for you too. So we will give you our picks for more than half the card. And of course, they're going to be winners. That's how we do.
At least over 60% of them are winners.
Over 60%.
Unless you're
you are. It's been somewhat rough going early on this year, but we are still haven't
recovered from that 0-6 fight night. Still haven't recovered.
Man, every single time Jimmy Crute, I'm telling you, we got to bet Jimmy Crute draw every single time. Draw. But if you guys aren't following us on Instagram, the Fight Pit Podcast, head on over, hit that follow button. We appreciate it. We post all of our picks. We post all of our up-to-date records, so you guys can see how we're doing after each card and how we're doing throughout the entire year of 2025. And we post confirmed news, all the stuff that you guys want to know, everything that is locked in and solid, no rumors, no BS, just solid info. And we're all over there. It's a great time. So jump on in, give us a follow. We'll follow you back. But before we get too deep into this episode, as always, I got to check in with my boys, because that's what it's about. The Fight Pit is about the boys coming together and just throwing down on some fights every single week. It's the best part of my week every week. My name, of course, is Drew. High Fight IQ. I'll be modding. Right next door down in Florida, we got Sean Ryan Sports. Sean of the Dead. How you doing today, brother?
Doing pretty good. Baseball season started, so I'm very happy, and I'm very happy to see the Red Sox starting off in the shitter. Always makes me smile.
There's a few rough starts that I am not mad at. A few rough starts I'm not mad at at all.
The Braves, what the fuck?
Dude. Did you go to the Yankees opener yet? Was that last week?
Oh, the spring training game I went a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Spring training, that's what it was.
It was fun.
How was it?
It was fun. It ended up in a tie, which is really weird for baseball, but I understand they're not doing extra innings for spring training, so. But it's always fun. Baseball and hockey are experiences. I always say that. Football and basketball, you need to have better seats for. I don't believe you could be a nosebleed in those two sports and whatever. But baseball, hockey, you can sit anywhere you want. It's an experience.
Side note, I'll have to show you too. My dad and I first got our first Topps set of year, first one that we've had in a while, and we had some openings last night, and I got some Yankees that I immediately thought of you. Yeah. One of them, of course, I know you're going to be happy about. I got a Judge insert, and then the one that I know you're not going to be happy about, I got a Soto insert. So it was, yeah, it was a nice array. There were some good pools. Pools.
I'm okay with not having Soto. He got paid and forgot how to see a ball.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy. I think you guys got Bellinger. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Of course, the Yankees just have to score 8 runs to win a game.
Yeah, they have no bullpen right now. Absolutely none.
Hey, nothing a little torpedo bat can't fix. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're the Dodgers, who are 7-0.
Yeah.
And then you have the Padres that's like 6-0 right behind them. It's like, what the fuck's going on there?
Right. It's Jesus so stupid. Christ. I'm so glad baseball's back. Speaking of being back, I am so glad, holding it downstairs, Gageamus Maximus. Gage, how the hell are you, brother?
They're living a good life. Happy to be back.
We're happy to have you, man. It's been too long. The longer I go without seeing your face, I start aging quicker. You keep me young, dude. So we gotta get you back in as often as possible. And almost the birthday boy too. So it's good to get you back in before you start to get closer on to my age. But the fight card that we're covering on this one, it's in Miami. Both of these guys are in Florida, so this couldn't have worked out better. Having the Florida guys on for the Florida card, it's perfect. Couldn't ask for anything more.
I tried to convince birthday weekend, and looked at $400 each. And I was like, oof, never mind.
Oh my gosh, yep. That's rough, man. Gone are the days of getting those throwaway tickets for UFC events. I haven't seen a UFC event where any of the tickets are under like $500 that are worth a shit. So
especially in Miami.
Oh yeah, dude, I can't even imagine.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
Before we jump on into UFC 314, though, we are going to do a little recap of the card that just finished, UFC Fight Night, Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. Solid card. We had solid picks, did pretty well. My Ronaldo Rodriguez pick did not pan out, but other than that, Matt and Sean did very well. I do believe Sean was undefeated on that last card. As
Sean does.
As he does. Way too freaking often, man. I held the lead on our percentage wins for all of I think like 30 seconds or so before Sean stole it back. So good on you, bro. But awesome card, and Brandon Moreno, of course, coming through like he always does. Beautiful performance. I'm gonna get your guys' thoughts on it. Yeah, Sean went 5-0 on this card with his fight picks. Matt went 3-1, and I went 1-3. Just to balance it out, you know. I'm Thanos over here, dude. I got to keep everything perfectly balanced. I can't have you guys going undefeated and
balance is all things should.
Yeah, I am inevitable. I am inevitably going to fuck it up every time you guys do well. So, but total picks for Moreno and Erceg, we went 9-4 overall. For the official bets, undefeated 2-0, and then for the official picks, we went 3-1. So all in all, as a team, we did pretty damn good, and that's what it's about. It's a team effort, baby. I'll get you guys' thoughts on that. Gage, since you haven't been here in a while, let us know. How'd you like that one? Anything stand out to you?
I did tune into all of the Moreno fight, and that's one I want to talk about the most because there's the most potential coming out of there, especially featherweight. Who's going to try and go toe-to-toe with Andre Pantoja again for both of those fighters. I liked Brandon Moreno working behind his jab, we had a lot of great head movement, even in later rounds. He didn't look too tired. Did not like the big looping punches, the little jump punch. He was really leaving himself open to a lot of counter from Steve Erceg. But in the earlier rounds, it was connecting. He just kept going back to the well, kind of left himself out. My thing with Steve Erceg is he's very technically sound, great cardio, didn't look tired. Where's his wrestling? He's a good wrestler. Where he didn't even try to level change. He's way bigger than Brandon Moreno. Secondly, he's just so, like his personality, very timid in the octagon. It seems like I think Steve Erceg was the better fighter. He just didn't put anything on the gas pedal. Didn't really sit on anything. Like I think was it Bisping, or I think Morosenko or Bisping saying that he's not sitting down on any punches. He's really just touching them. And he had the opportunity. If he sits down on a good uppercut while Brandon Moreno ducks his head in to enter, like, that's probably going to sit Moreno down. And then we're looking at a different fight. Because I had it personally 2-2 going into round 5. Yeah. And Steve Erceg wanted no part of winning that round in round 5. And Brandon Moreno wanted it. Brandon Moreno got it.
Agreed. Yeah, I felt the same way. I thought that it was pretty darn close going into that last round, and credit to Moreno being able to get it done in Mexico. Like you said, he wanted it, and Erceg just has that. I mean, it's tough, man. Just some of those guys, once they hit those big fights, those big title fights, those high profile fights, those main events, some of them just don't look like the same guys after that. And it's unfortunate because Steve Erceg still being ranked number 8 after just 2 losses in a row. That was definitely expecting a little bit more out of him on that one. Sean, how did you feel about that card? Any big highlights?
Manuel Torres getting back on the horse after the Ignacio Bahamundes fight. Like I was saying before the Ignacio Bahamundes fight that he was going to be a top 5 fighter in the weight class someday. He's so sound everywhere. And the issue is he was fighting someone else 6'3". This time, Drew Dober. Drew Dober is a great fighter, but he's a guy that's like, if you want to be in the top 15, you're going to have to go through him, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to be in the top 15. And that's kind of where he is. It's like a gatekeeper before a gatekeeper kind of situation with Drew Dober, unfortunately. But so Manuel Torres did exactly what he needed to do. He didn't take any damage. He looked super clean. Also, it's weird with the main event because I was thinking kind of like Gage, where it was like where he was just throwing pillow hands almost at him, like the jab. And I think Daniel Cormier was also one that was telling. Daniel Cormier had a 4-1, which I did not have a 4-1. I had a 3-2 for Moreno. Which and he was like, he was preaching that it was 2-1, 3-1, and I was like, how's the 3-1 going to the 5th round? You have a 2-2, but I mean, damage is king, and Brandon Moreno was actually throwing with intent, and there was no
damage. Steve just had like a little cut here, and it was like,
it
wasn't like showing. It was just the aggressiveness, I really think.
Yeah, and I do believe this is one of those situations where after you get knocked out, and that was the first time Steve Erceg has ever been knocked out, and that's why I think he was the way he was, and he was so timid. If you look at Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards 3, and just look at Kamaru Usman and you look at Steve Erceg in this fight, you'll see the same fighter. Even though Steve Erceg is mostly a striker, but it's the same as a guy that was timid of coming off a brutal KO. And they don't want something like that happening again. And that's honestly what I think the case was. Because if the Steve Erceg that showed up against Pantoja showed up against Moreno loses that fight easily. Like, this was neither of their bests by any means.
Again,
I hear that.
To bring it up, I want to see more wrestling out of Steve Erceg.
Change. Just
a level change, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he showed it in those fights leading up to that Pantoja fight that he's capable of a lot more than we saw.
I think that's also something that got in his head because he tried to wrestle Pantoja around 5 and ended up costing him the fight. And I think he just now is just so shy to use it because he is so technically sound boxing, such a technically sound boxer.
Oh yeah. Wasn't the best Brandon Moreno performance that we had ever seen either. And Sean brought it up too, that coming off that Amir Albazi fight, that looked like the best Brandon Moreno that we had seen. And so stark contrast, but at the end of the day, Moreno got it done. Probably looking at a number 1 contender fight or a title fight at some point because they got nothing else to do. So we shall see. R.I.P. Drew Dober. Miss you, dude. Love you. And that is going to wrap that up. But we are on the cusp of the Josh Emmett and Lerone Murphy card going down this Saturday. And then following Saturday will be the UFC 314 card we're covering. You can go check out our Lerone Murphy versus Josh Emmett card episode. It's already up right on this channel. You can click our channel button and it's going to be the first one right there for you. So you can check out our picks for that, check out everything that we got, and let us know what you think. Let us know what you got. Let us know who you got.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, before we get too much further into this episode, I gotta stop and take a minute to give a shout out to our newest sponsor, Bucked Up Supplements. The good people at Bucked Up aim to provide customers with the highest quality supplements and fitness products that help to achieve your health and fitness goals. Bucked Up is committed to using only the best ingredients and the latest scientific research to create innovative and effective products that enhance performance, increase energy, and promote overall wellness. Whether you're looking to bulk up, lose weight, get shredded, or just improve your overall health, Bucked Up has the right supplements for you. Bucked Up provides an array of supplements, including pre-workouts, proteins, creatines, test boosters, BCAAs, vitamins, and their signature deer antler velvet spray. Not sure where to start? Bucked Up also offers pre-selected stacks that bundle the right supplements for your goals for you. And with their 45-day money-back guarantee on all supplement products, you don't have to worry about wasting your money, which is always good. Hard-earned money, we don't want to waste it. We need that guarantee, baby. So click the link down in the description to go straight to the Bucked Up website and use code FightPit20 to receive 20% off your supplement order every time you order. Thank you to Bucked Up for sponsoring this episode, keeping the lights on, and for rocking with the Fight Pit. Welcome to the family, folks. We appreciate ya.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, we are going to gloss over the early prelim fighters to watch on this UFC 314 card. Not a large early prelim, but we got 4 fights on the early prelims. It's going to be a pretty stacked card all around. Kicking off the night with Nora Cornell versus Haley Cohen. Haley Cohen, I think I'm pronouncing correctly. The one that I'm the most looking forward to, the second fight, Tresean Gore versus Marco Tulio. I'm a big Tresean Gore fan. Followed by Sumaderji versus Mitch Raposo, and then capping it with Cedricus Dumas versus Mikhail Olegzaychek. Sean, any bet picks, any specific money lines, anything like that on the early prelims that we want to throw out there?
A nice little underdog is maybe Cedric Dumas. It's not a guarantee, anything like that, but I think it's not a miserable matchup for him, and he can definitely try to get a knockout in that fight because McCall is hittable, and even though he does have better ground game and he can strike with a good portion of the division, he is very hittable, and he has been KO'd before. So that is an underdog maybe to sprinkle on, but it's not like a guarantee by any means. It's just one that I would not be surprised if it happened.
Understandable, absolutely. He did have a lot of hype coming in to the UFC early on, and then ran into some tough dudes, ran into a couple knockout shots. It happens. The Sumaderji and Mitch Raposo fight, I think, is going to be pretty competitive too. And then for me, like I said, Tresean Gore. I've liked Tresean Gore ever since he got in. He had a pretty long layoff there for a while, but he's back and going up against Marco Tulio. Not going to be an easy day. And I do like Tresean Gore in that one. So if I had to bet anybody, I'm going to say Tresean Gore. Money line is the one that I'm picking. Gage, how do you feel about these early prelims? Anything you like?
I do like the Olajay Tech Cedric Dumas. My only bet that's going under 1.5.
That's a solid pick. I like that. I'm willing to ride on that one. So there you go, guys. If you're not locked in, not official picks, but as far as the early prelims go, Cedric Dumas as an underdog, Tresean Gore money line, and Dumas Olajay going under 1.5. Yeah, under 1.5. Things to keep in mind for that one. So get on it.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, it is time for us to jump on into the UFC 314 prelims and start giving you our official picks. We are going to kick it off by throwing it to Sean. Sean is going to let us know about Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa.
All right, Darren Elkins is a pretty big underdog here. He's 5'10", 145 featherweight, 40 years old. He's 29 wins, 11 losses, 9 KOs, has been KO'd 4 times, 6 submissions, has been submitted once. So his submission game is way better than his KO game when you look at ratio of being KO'd versus KOing. He's on a 2-fight win streak, 2 wins in the last 2 years, hasn't fought in just about 6 months, so that's pretty good. His last opponent was Daniel Pineda, not a bad win there, unanimous decision in a submission win in those last 2. Then you got Julian Erosa. He's 6'1" at featherweight. Wow, that's a tall-ass featherweight. 35 years old, 30 wins, 12 losses, 11 KOs, been KO'd 8 times. Wow. 14 submissions, 0 times being submitted. That's the big stat right there. He's on a 2-fight win streak, and both of those wins have been by submission. And his last one was against Christian Rodriguez, which is also pretty good grappler. So we're talking about a very good grappler. I'm not going to say elite because I do believe you have to have at least a number next to your name to be considered elite in any facet of the game. But he is a very good grappler versus a good grappler. And I think that's the difference here. When you look at Darren Elkins, he has knockout power, but it's not unbelievable. He does throw heavy shots, so he's either going to get it or he's not one that's going to throw combos, throw jab, 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 right hook, so on. So I think Julian Erosa is going to find a way to get this fight to the ground pretty easily. He's a minus 450 favorite for a reason. He's going to get it to the ground. He's going to get another submission. I would be surprised if it gets to the 3rd round. So I'll say 2nd round submission, but I would not even be surprised it'll be 1st round. Don't overthink this fight. The only way Darren Elkins win is like a Hail Mary KO.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, moving right along. We're going to throw it down to Gage Miss. He is going to let us know about Jim fucking Miller versus Chase Hooper.
This is unfortunately because every time you see Jim Miller, you want to get on that Jim Miller hype train. He's plus 450 for a reason. Chase Hooper's been excellent lately, shown a lot of growth in his game. But you can never count out Jim Miller. He's definitely a live dog. But I have Chase Hooper here. I think it does go to the cards because, again, you just can't say Jim Miller won't thug it out in the simplest of terms. I don't know how many more fights Jim has in the tank after this, unfortunately. But I do think he is on the other side of the cards. I think it's going to be 29-28 Chase Hooper.
I have a question for you guys. Because we always talk about this, over-under on this card, half a retirement fight. What are we doing? Are we going over or under? Because we are mentioning Jim Miller, 45 or 46 fights in the UFC. He wants to get to 50, but if Chase Hooper brutally submits him in the first round, is it worth him sticking around?
I hope it's under, but very difficult to call, especially if he gets quickly submitted, or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. I hope it's going to be under, but I would say it's probably definitely favored to go over 0.5 on that one, sadly.
Yeah, I think if it's a first round submission, does him at his age want to do another fight camp and everything like that, training for 2-3 months to possibly have a result like that? I think the over's definitely more favored.
Like Gage was saying, Jim Miller's had the kind of resurgence where it's like you can't even really confidently count him out in even a fight where he's going up against a minus 600. But that's, I haven't seen, does anybody know what his streak is right now? Is he coming off of a couple losses?
I think 2 losses because there was the...
Oh no, he won his last fight with the guillotine.
Oh, that's right, he did one. So
yeah, so 1-1 in his last 2. 1-1. Yep.
Okay. If he's if I see him stack a couple losses in a row, I would understand. But I honestly I feel like he's the kind of guy who's not going to go out on just one loss. Not going to really throw him off. I mean, he's battled through Lyme disease and sickness and all kinds of stuff. So I don't think just one loss is gonna sway him one way or the other. But I'm hoping he gets through this one unscathed, win or lose, and is able to keep going. We want to keep Jim fucking Miller around as long as possible. Chase Hooper is on a couple fight win streak too. So yeah,
he looks great at lightweight. Gaining weight was the best thing he ever did.
That's true. Yeah. And
he's really cleaned up his striking, which is massive.
Yep. That's an excellent point. He's been rounding out well. He's young and he's starting to put it together and come into his own. So we'll see. Be a big win if Jim Miller is able to get it done.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, baby. Next up, we're going to kick it back on over to Sean Ryan Sports. He is going to let us know about Xiaonan versus Virna Jandiroba.
So, Xiaonan is 19-4, 8 KOs, been KO'd once, 1 submission, been submitted once. She's 5'5", 35 years old. 2 fights ago, she lost against Zhang Wei Li at UFC 300. A fight that she should have lost in the first round, and then a fight she should have lost in the second round. But the ref just decided he wanted to see someone die that night. But won one of the rounds too. So what ended up being a 49-46. So good for her. But then her next fight, Tabitha Ricci, sorry. She looked way better against, but obviously it wasn't the champ. And she won the fight by decision pretty easily. Nothing too crazy. She wasn't really at risk. It was a fight kind of laid out for her to win. So this is a very close fight. Now let me tell you a little bit about Virna. So she is on a 4-fight winning streak. And her last fight was a submission win over Amanda Lemos. And Amanda Lemos don't get submitted. She's a very good defensive grappler. Yes, she gets taken down, but she doesn't get submitted. like Mackenzie Dern. You had Shangwei Li, and they took her down quite a few times, couldn't get a submission off, and Jandiroba took her down in the first round, manhandled her, and then got the submission. If I'm correct, in the second round, it looked like they didn't belong in the same octagon. I wonder if this is going to carry over, but she is hittable. She's another fighter that she is hittable, and Jan is an incredible striker. And that's where I'm kind of scared. Like, she can get knocked out, but she hasn't yet. She's 21-3, 1 KO, been KO'd 0 times, so that's kind of showing her chin. 14 submission, never been submitted. She's never been finished. So if you're going to scorecards, I'm going to assume Virna is going to win by decision, but I could see a submission snuck in there too. It's tough. With this being a 3-round fight, I do believe this is going to be a decision. I would say over 1.5 to be safe, because Jandiroba's grappling is incredible. Yeah, I'm going to go by decision. That'll be my actual bet, and then over 1.5 is like a side bet if you want to do.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, we are going to keep it moving right along. Next one up, we have a super solid fight. Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. All right, Dan Ige still currently ranked number 15th in the division with an 18-9 record, 6 KO wins, 5 submission wins, 7 decision wins. He's 3-3 in his last 6 fights dating back to January 2023, coming off of a unanimous decision loss to Lerone Murphy October 26th of last year. And going up against Sean Woodson, 13-1-1 record with 4 KO wins, 1 submission win, and 8 decision wins. He's 3-0 in his last 3 dating back to January of 2024. Had a little bit of a time off, a little bit of a break, but he's back. He's unbeaten in his last 7 fights since 2021, and coming off of a TKO win over Fernando Padilla December 14th of last year, 2024. This one, I do believe, is the closest odds on the card for a reason. I totally understand. I would have done the same if I was in charge of making these odds, because this one could absolutely go either way. It just really depends on the night. We, of course, are 100% ride or die Dan Ige fans here, and I do think that he is capable of getting this one done. It's going to be a tough, tall order, pun intended, because Sean Woodson, let me tell you about the specs on this one. So with Dan Ige standing at a 5'7" height with a 71-inch reach, and Sean Woodson at a 6'2" height with a 78-inch reach, very, very tough to overcome somebody that is just that huge with that massive reach advantage. It's difficult to reach guys like that. I mean, you can imagine trying to fight up. It's very difficult. And especially somebody who's able to reach you from distances that you're not able to reach them even with your kicks. The range is just so hard to manage. But if anybody can manage it, it's Dan Ige. It's 50K. Dan Ige, very good at getting inside and countering, finding openings off of head movement. He's got a very solid ground game. He is capable of getting the submission or the knockout while being in a dominant position on the ground. And he's very tough. He's very strong on the ground too. He can control people very easily once he gets them there. Sean Woodson on this one is his frame, his long range very well. He's great at being able to keep people at the end of his punches, at the end of his kicks, mix it up, punches and kicks, changing levels, body, head, legs, etc. And I think he's going to need to do that in this to win this fight. I don't think he wants Dan Ige to get close, because if Dan Ige catches you, he can put you out no matter who you are. Woodson needs to be smart in the striking. Don't get too overconfident. Don't overestimate Dan Ige on this one because of the size difference and start getting sloppy, start getting cocky and start throwing crazy stuff. Be smart with the striking and stay off his back. Stay off his back, because if Dan Ige gets you down and he controls you, he keeps you there, he can finish the fight by knockout or submission or points, just dominating and win by decision. This one, I really want Dan Ige to win, but I do love Sean Woodson. I think the smart pick on this one is going to be Sean Woodson. I have lost the last couple cards betting on the guys that I love going up against the smart picks. So I'm going to take Sean Woodson official pick on this one at -123. But Dan Ige, 1,000,000% my dog of the week pick on this one. I'm going to say this one goes over 2.5. The bet pick on this one, I'm going to lock in over 2.5 rounds either way. But money line, I'm taking Sean Woodson. Dog of the week, I'm taking Dan Ige, baby.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, we have made it to the main card of UFC 314, and Gage is going to lead us off. He's going to let us know about Nikita Krylov versus Dominick Reyes.
Well, we love the Dominick Reyes resurgence. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. And Nikita Krylov, I think the biggest knock against him is he didn't fight all of last year. This is his first fight in a year and a half. So I think the ring rust is going to show, especially in a absolute banger of a fight this is going to be here. I do think I have Dominick Reyes as my dog of the week. I'm going to go Dominick Reyes, KO, TKO, under 2.5. And it's going to be a quick one. These guys will be throwing for knockouts, not really trying to go to the cards here. We know the history of Dominick Reyes and going to the cards. Shout out John Jones. I think this is a great way to start off a card. Both these guys, high volume, high power, going to stand in the middle. Krylov can wrestle. Don't think he will. I think he's going to be stand and bang all day. And I don't see both these guys leaving conscious at the end of 15 minutes.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, moving on to a very exciting fight, very exciting debut that I think we all are very much looking forward to. We have Yair Rodriguez welcoming Patricio Pitbull to the UFC octagon. Super excited about this one. For anybody that follows MMA outside of the UFC, I think that you are just as excited about this one as I am. Patricio Pitbull, one of the Pitbull brothers, making his long-awaited UFC debut against always dangerous top contender, still ranked number 5 in the division, Yair Rodriguez, El Pantera. Yair Rodriguez at a 19-5 record with 8 KO wins, 5 submission wins, and 6 decision wins, up against Patricio Pitbull with a 36-7 record, 12 KO wins, 12 submission wins, and 12 decision wins. Dude is crazy. The former Bellator champ, and I do believe at some point he was fought in Ryzen. So savvy vet that's been around, and most recently coming off of the Bellator Champion Series, where he defeated Jeremy Kennedy by TKO in the 3rd round. Yair Rodriguez, we are a little bit more familiar with, you guys following the UFC like we do. Unfortunately, coming off of a 2-fight losing streak, both of them by finishes against Alexander Volkanovski in 2023 and Brian Ortega in 2024. But prior to that, put away Josh Emmett for the interim featherweight belt, and was on a pretty good streak there for a little while. He had some good wins over tough guys, beat Dan Hooker, Andre Feely, Bruce Leroy, BJ Penn, Korean Zombie, Jeremy Stevens. Had the TKO by shoulder injury against Brian Ortega in the first one, and then submitted Josh Emmett. So been around for a while, been competing at the highest level for a while, on a little bit of a skid right now, but against the toughest dudes, the toughest competition, of course, and is by no means over the hill at all, by no means on a downswing. Same with Pitbull. Pitbull has been around for so long, and he is so well-rounded. You saw it in his stats. He has 12 victories in each category. So he's no stranger to any aspect of the game. He is very well-rounded. He hits very hard. He mixes up his striking very well. I love it. If you guys remember his fight against Michael Chandler in Bellator, moving up, I believe he was the featherweight champion, moving up to face Michael Chandler, who was the lightweight champion, put him away by KO first round. I believe it was the first round, if I recall correctly. So this is a dangerous fight. Patricio Pitbull coming in at a plus 170, but I would not be surprised if it was even a pick'em, if it was even closer than that, because Patricio Pitbull can put it together, and especially at featherweight, man, he hits very hard for featherweight division. He's standing at 5'6". So, of course, Yair Rodriguez is going to have the height and I assume the reach advantage also.
The reach is 71 inches to 65.5.
65.5. Damn. So, yeah, Yair Rodriguez definitely going to have the reach advantage and the height advantage in this one. Yair Rodriguez at about a 5-inch advantage or so in each category. Another one of those size discrepancy fights, just like the Woodson and Dan Ige one. I do think that Patricio Pitbull is capable of getting this one done any which way that it goes. If it goes to the ground, he is dangerous on the ground, and especially in the striking. I think that the best bet for this fight is for it to not go the distance, for it to be an under 2.5 on this one, because I think either of these guys are capable of getting the finish. And same thing, Patricio Pitbull, he needs to negate that size difference. He needs to negate that reach. He needs to get inside, using angles, using head movement, getting inside and working the heavy shots, not allowing Yair Rodriguez to utilize that distance advantage and get his exciting, crazy striking styles. He's got, kickboxing, taekwondo, all kinds of crazy kicks. We've seen him get crazy kick knockouts, and it's dangerous to just stay on the end of Yair Rodriguez's strikes and let him get comfortable. So this one, it's very tough for me to call on this one. I have no idea which way this is going to go, because we haven't seen Pitbull up against any UFC competition, and we see guys who are killing it outside of the UFC come into the UFC and not look so great, and then on the account of like Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler, sometimes they are that dude and they come in and they pick up right where they left off outside the UFC. So I'm not locking in a money line pick on this one. For the sake of an official pick, I'm going to go with the guy with the UFC experience at the highest level, and I'm going to say Yair Rodriguez as the official pick on this one, but not very confident at that at all. My bet and my over-under on this one is going to be under 2.5. I think it is going to be a finish either which way, and I think it's going to be an exciting fight. So make sure you do not go to the restroom or go grab a beer or anything like that during this one. This is not the fight for that. This one's going to be a finish. Lock it in. Bet pick under 2.5 rounds. Official pick Yair El Pantera.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, we are going to go around the horn for these last 3 fights, and they are good ones. Good freaking fights, folks. Next one up, we're going to look at very highly anticipated fight between Bryce Mitchell and Jean Silva. I'm going to hit the specs, and then we'll get our picks. Bryce Mitchell at a 17-2 record, 1 KO wins, 7 submission wins. 9 submission wins, 7 decision wins. 3-2 in his last 5, dating back to March of 2022, coming off of a KO win over Kron Gracie, December 7th of 2024. Jean Silva rolling, baby. 15-2 with 12 KO wins, 2 submission wins, 1 decision win, riding a 12-fight win streak, coming off of a TKO win over Melsik Bagdasaryan, February 22nd of 2025. Oh my goodness. I'll kick us off on this one. I just want to say I love Bryce Mitchell, and I really hope Bryce Mitchell is able to get this one done. I do not think he's going to. But my heart is with him. I really hope that he is able to get it done. He's been going through a lot this last few months, and has not had the general public on his side. But likewise, John Silva, dude, fighting nerds. Can't ever, I mean, I don't ever want to bet against Bryce Mitchell, but I physically cannot ever bet against any of the fighting nerds. They are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of the UFC right now, dude. They are rolling. They are badass. And John Silva, among some of the most exciting strikers in the game right now, bouncing around different weight classes, getting TKOs every which way, anybody that he faces. I got to go with John Silva money line on this one. I do hope Bryce Mitchell has a good showing. I hope he makes it out intact. I hope he makes it out with his consciousness. Don't want to see anything bad happen to Bryce Mitchell, but John Silva is that dude. Sean, I'll kick it to you on this one. How do you see this one going?
Oh, yeah. The Nazi lovers are not going to win this fight. We're going to go with the Gene Silva first round KO. We're not even going to beat around the bush here. If Bryce Mitchell doesn't land that first takedown, he's going to sleep very quickly. That's what I'm going with. Under 2.5. Gene Silva.
Can't say I disagree, man. Can't say I disagree. Gage, who do you like in this one, brother?
I mean, I'm not going to go against the flow here. It's the obvious pick. I hope it's not a repeat of the Josh Emmett fight. I really don't. But it could be. It could be. The power John Silva has, the way he's fighting, the way that whole team is fighting, kind of feels like Bryce Mitchell's getting set up a little bit here. I don't know how strong his chin's going to be, and that's going to be a problem. I think John Silva, that gym has him drilling, sprawling, takedown defense. He's got BJJ background, so I don't think he's going to be in submission trouble necessarily. Under 1.5, John Silva KO. Lock of the week, baby. Lock of the week.
Boom, lock of the week, folks. You heard it. I will give Bryce Mitchell that he is a lot bigger for the division than I think a lot of people realize. John Silva, very built for his size, but Bryce Mitchell, a lot taller, a lot longer.
Yeah, John Silva's also
stronger.
A short dude. He's just very stocky.
Yeah. So Bryce Mitchell does have the size advantage on his side on this one. So he's sneakily, and his boxing has gotten better, but he definitely needs the sub in this
Bryce
one.
Mitchell's also, he doesn't look it, but he's got that I can't think of the word, like the farm strength. Like that man is practical strength. That's what I'm thinking, practical strength. Like may not be gym built, but that man has strength in them takedowns.
Working man hands, that farmer strength, dude. It's real, and he is gonna need it. But we are unanimous on this one, so lock it in. Official pick, John Silva.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
And next up, we made it to the co-main event. On this stacked of a card, my most anticipated fight on this one, because one of my favorite fighters of all time. We have Michael Chandler going up against Paddy Pimblett, another highly anticipated fight that everyone's looking forward to. Michael Chandler at a 23-9 record with 11 KO wins, 7 submission wins, 5 decision wins, 2-4 in the UFC. But that doesn't really tell the whole story. Coming off of
twice.
Yeah. I mean, you're facing Charles Oliveira twice in your first 6 fights. The toughest first 6 fights in the UFC that you could even ask for. Coming off of the unanimous decision loss against Charles Oliveira November 16th of 2024. Going up against Paddy the Baddy, 22-3 record with 6 KO wins, 10 submission wins, 6 decision wins, riding an 8-fight win streak, coming off of a submission win over King Green on July 27th of 2024. We'll take it back the other way. Gage, kick us off on this one. Who do you like, brother?
Dude, it's so tough because Michael Chandler's getting older. He's been put through the absolute ringer. He looks great though. And Drew, I know you follow Michael Chandler on social media, and his motivation posts. Dude's a dog. Dude's an absolute warrior. I will say that he's been through the gauntlet. Seems like a great dude. Paddy's riding the hype train, and he's looked good since coming back from his surgery. Got past the Jared Gordon stuff, and I don't know how Michael Chandler's the underdog here. Higher ranked, tougher opponents. Paddy just got ranked. Paddy doesn't have the strength to strike with Michael Chandler. And I just don't think has the strength to keep Michael Chandler off of him when he chooses to wrestle. Like, Paddy, great ground game, great submission game. I don't see any facet of the game that gives him an edge to warrant the slight favorite here. I gotta go Michael Chandler. I will say I don't think it ends quick, so over 1.5 I think is the way to go if you want to bet that way instead of money line.
I am so fucking happy to have you back, Gage. I thought I was really genuinely going to be the only one picking Michael Chandler on this one. No surprises here. I'm going Michael Chandler, one of my favorite fighters of all time, one of the most seasoned vets on the UFC roster. He's got, like I said, 2-4 in his last 6, but doesn't tell the whole story. He had, aside from the last fight with Charles Oliveira, he had moments in every single one of those other 3 losses where he was this close to winning the fight. But it's a common joke amongst the MMA community. Not the highest fight IQ, because he gets in spots where he should do one thing and he does the absolute opposite. I think that Michael Chandler, his wrestling, he's not going to be afraid to go to the ground with Paddy Pimblett, which is where Paddy is going to want this fight to go. I think that Paddy Pimblett is capable of getting the submission, but I don't think it's going to be very easy. I don't think it's going to be very likely. I think if Michael Chandler is able to keep it on the feet, I got Iron Mike all day, every day. So I'm going to take Michael Chandler as the underdog on this one. Also, plus 140. Great stuff. I like it. Sean, round us out, dude. Who do you like?
I'm going to end up disagreeing with you guys because his last fight against Charles Oliveira, we all know this, 20 finishes, 1 million submission wins. He's a great BJJ guy. Before this last fight, where was Charles Oliveira's wrestling? So this, all of a sudden, Charles Oliveira goes against an all-American wrestler and just out-wrestles him the entire fight. And that's where it's like, you got a guy that stylistically is a nightmare for Michael Chandler and is not a small dude. Like, he puts on a shit ton of weight. I know it's fat, but at the same point, it's a lot of weight. So he's going to be somewhat strong in there. Obviously, no one's going to be Michael Chandler strong, but the thing is, Michael Chandler also gasses out. He's going to defend takedowns for a round, and he's going to be gassed by round 3, and it'll be a 3rd round submission. In my opinion, for Paddy Pimblett, the only way that I see Michael Chandler winning is a 1st round KO. After the 1st round, that goes out the window.
Can't say I disagree. I am, like I said, I'm surprised that I'm not the only one taking Michael Chandler, but that's just how me and Gage roll. And I do think that Paddy Pimblett is the smart pick on this one. He's rolling, and Michael Chandler just has hit that point where, things just aren't looking great. So would not be surprised, but here's hoping that Michael Chandler is not done yet.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the main event of the evening, UFC 314 main event. We got Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes for the vacant featherweight title. Alexander Volkanovski had a 26-4 record with 13 KO wins, 3 submission wins, 10 decision wins. Unfortunately, 1-3 in his last 4 fights dating back to February of 2023, coming off of, I don't even want to say it, I don't even like it, coming off of the KO loss to Ilia Topuria February 17th of 2024. Diego Lopes rolling, baby, 26-6 record with 10 KOs, 12 submissions, 4 decision wins, riding a 5-fight win streak, coming off of the unanimous decision win over Brian Ortega September 14th, 2024. And this is another one that's going to be difficult to pick. It's going to be difficult to pick. We got the young up-and-comer riding the win streak, riding the wave, riding the momentum, going up against one of the vets who has hit a rough patch, is kind of back against the wall.
You can say it.
One of the absolute goats, baby.
I would be very surprised if we don't hear a one the only coming out of Bruce Buffer.
Oh, I would love that. I would love that. Yeah. Nobody deserves it more than Volk at this point. Even on a 2-fight losing streak, he deserves it.
Who got it the other fight? Pereira got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Volk would be the 4th, and it would definitely be warranted. Absolutely. Volkanovski, again, sitting at a -150. I'm tempted to take the underdog on this one just because of the momentum and just because of how good Diego Lopes has looked against, guys like Brian Ortega, guys like Dan Ige. On short notice, he's been doing well. And I know that he is a fan favorite, and they're both fan favorites. It's so hard to pick on this one, man. So hard to pick on this one. My gut says to go with Diego Lopes, that would be the smart pick. But just like with the Chandler fight, I'm not ready to count Volk out. So I'm going to kick us off. Alexander Volkanovski, and new, and again, reclaiming the featherweight title that he once held and dominated for so long. Gage, who do you like on this one, man?
The Apple, same brain cell again, Drew. I think it's a one the only. Warranted, I think, and again is warranted. Come from a land down in Miami for a reason. I can't let my head win. I love how Diego Lopes fights. I love his demeanor, his attitude, his ethic coming up in the last couple of years, his activity in the sport, and nothing not to love. Their banter's respectful, funny, entertaining between both of them. Volk, if this was 2 years ago, it's not a question. If this is pre-knockouts, it's not a question. If this is pre-Volk over 35 years of age, it's not a question. The curse is real. It's proven time and time again. And I should go Diego Lopes here. But I'm not going to. I'm going to go Alexander Volkanovski purely because if you look at the Dan Ige fight, Diego Lopes' cardio is a question mark. How will he fare using all facets of the game? Because Volk can wrestle, Volk will strike, Volk can do whatever you want to play, however you want to play it, he'll be game. Can you do it for 25 minutes? Volk's been fighting nothing but 25 minutes for the last 6 years. It's his first time. There's a lot of question marks. He has a lot of potential in the first 2 rounds, though. It's going to be really interesting in those first 2 rounds to 3 rounds. Can Volk weather the storm? Can Volk take him to deep water and do what he does? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say my official pick is over 3.5 rounds, because if it goes past the 3rd, it's going to the cards, baby. And I'm going to say it's going to be close, 49-48.
I like it. I definitely agree. Sean, round us out, brother.
If you want to sprinkle 2nd-round knockout Diego Lopes or under 1.5, under 2.5, it's a good sprinkle.
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Sean, Round us out, brother.
All right, I'm putting my streak on the line here with of my 6 featherweight championship fights. I'm 6-0 on the Fight Pit. I'm putting it on the line on an underdog. I am going to make my dog of the week. I am going Diego Lopes, and I think we just have too many questions with Volk at the moment to pick otherwise. And the thing is, we don't have questions about Diego Lopes. In the one time, like you said, with against Dan Ige, he had to gain 12 pounds in a couple hours. He was so significantly underweight. So instead of training, he's force eating to try to get as close as he could to get to 160 for that fight, because he took it on like 2 hours notice. So, and he still weighed, I think, like 154, 155, and they said, let's just run it anyway. And, but I think Diego Lopes, he has crazy power on his shots. His submission game is insane. Even though his last 2 fights have gone to decision, one of them was Dan Ige, which was a weird situation all around. If you haven't looked up what happened that whole day, look it up. And then Brian Ortega is probably one of the only guys that has the grappling game to keep Diego Lopes back long enough. So Volk, I think if he gets hurt at all, he'll be on his neck ASAP. ASAP. There will be no hesitation. It'll be like a Charles Oliveira situation. Hurt him on neck, game over.
Can you see Alexander Volkanovski tapping? I can't.
No, he'll be out cold. He would, if it's around the neck, he is going to go out cold for sure.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I would hate to see this, but the old saying is, you always watch your favorite fighters go out on their back, and I think this will be third.
I mean, I don't know. We saw that guillotine Brian Ortega had Volk in.
But that was years ago.
True.
That was years ago. Pre knockouts back to back. How much power does Volk have? Like his cardio is insane. That's the thing. Volk wins on cardio and not getting hit. That's how he wins his fight. I don't know how much power he has in him, or if he has that fear of being knocked out, which I don't think Volk does. Volk, I just don't see it. He's a fucking bull in a China shop when it comes to that. I could not see him having like an Erceg fear like this last week. So I just think Diego Lopes finds a way to get it done. He either gets the neck and submits him and Volk goes out cold, or he ground and pounds and knocks him out. Either way, I'm going to say under 4.5. It will be a finish. And if not, I think Diego Lopes will sell out and burn out, and Volk can possibly get the win that way. So my actual bet pick is under 4.5. And you can also go with Diego Lopes and my dog of the week.
Not bad picks. Not bad picks. I could definitely see that happening. It could be Diego Lopes era. It very well could be. He's made a move up the rankings very quickly. He's looked unstoppable. But I really hope not. I really hope not. If there's anybody that I want to beat Volk for the title, though, it's Diego Lopes. Absolutely. I won't be mad. I won't be mad at all. I'm not ready to see Volk finished yet. So there you go. We are not unanimous on this one either, so it will not go down as an official pick, but we are locked in 2 for Volk, 1 for Diego Lopes. Jump on it.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am.
All right, folks, we are back with the latest edition of the Fight Pit UFC Trivia. Now, this one should be fairly easy for you guys. The only caveat is that in this top 10, there is a 2-way tie for third place and a 12-way tie for 6th place. This one is, like I said, going to be easy. There's just a little bit of a tie that you're going to have to break on this one. We are going to look at the most KO, TKO wins in UFC featherweight history, given that we are announcing a new featherweight champion at the end of this card. We're going to look at the most KO, TKO wins in featherweight history. Like I said, 12-way tie for 6th place, so there's going to be 17 picks altogether. Essentially, you guys can just start naming featherweights. They're probably all on there.
I'm gonna start with one of the featherweight. I'm gonna go Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo is tied for 6th place. He's listed at number 7th. He has 4.
Josh Emmett.
Josh Emmett also in a tie for 6th place. He has 4 at number 13.
Let's go Conor.
Conor McGregor is sitting at number 4. He is tied for number 3 all time with 6.
Is Max on there?
I think so.
Max is number 1. He has 9, sitting number 1 outright.
Wow. Is Volk on this list? Doesn't have a shit ton of KOs.
Alexander Volkanovski also tied for number 6. He has 4. He's at number 14.
Well, 4 is low enough that he could be on that.
Ilya.
Yeah.
Ilya Topuria also tied for 6th. He has 4 at number 17.
Dan Ige?
Dan Ige, oddly enough, tied for 6th. He also has 4. He is at number 15.
Is Yair on there?
Yeah, he has to be.
Oh, Yair Rodriguez is actually tied for 6th. He has 4 also. He's number 11. You guys, solid start. You have nailed every single one so far.
Yeah, it's tricky because I'm like thinking, all right, you think of this guy has 1 KO or this guy has 2 KOs, but do they have 4 or more is the question.
Korean Zombie.
Korean Zombie also tied for 6. He has 4 at number 9.
Does Diego Lopes have 4?
I don't know if he has 4.
Ooh. Diego Lopes not on the list yet.
Yeah, he has 2 or 3.
Damn, but you guys got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them off rip. That was the first miss. Beautiful.
So we haven't got 2 yet, right? We haven't got 2?
I haven't gotten 2.
No, number 2 is outright, and the tie with Conor McGregor at 6 is number 3.
Wow. How haven't we grabbed these 2?
So number 3, if you think back to the Jose Aldo fights, his most notable title fights, oddly enough. And also Conor McGregor title fight.
Nate?
Think about. No, title fight at featherweight.
Oh.
It wasn't Jose Aldo.
Mendez?
Chad Mendez tied with Conor McGregor for 6.
That's
Great call. Number 2 outright with 7 KO TKO wins. Veteran that is still fighting, SoCal guy, one of our favorites. He with another person on the list. I don't want to say their name because that'll give it away. But one of the greatest fights of all time in the fight wing of the Hall of Fame. Think SoCal, think tattoos, think mustache, think one of the greatest fights of all time. A guy that is always in absolute banger fights and you can never count him out. He has a tattoo of SoCal, so he's as California as you get.
I can picture his face. I cannot think his name to save my damn life.
Oh, is it Frankie Edgar?
No.
No, surprisingly. This is the first list we've had where Frankie Edgar
has not made it.
Not
Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ. That's funny.
Can't believe it. Can't believe we finally found one.
He's like an angry little white dude.
Is it Cub Swanson?
It is Cub Swanson. Let's go. Cub Swanson at number 2 outright. Sniped, baby. Sniped. Gage a miss. And then So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 5 in that fight with Cub Swanson, greatest fight of all time. One of the greatest fights of all time. Hall of Fame fight. If you can think about...
Is this guy still active?
He is now, yeah. He took some time off, but he is back active now.
Is he back active in the UFC?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
It's a tough name. It's one that we don't really hear too often. But you'll know it. You'll know it when you hear it.
Yeah, I'm drawing blanks.
One of those under the radar greatest fights of all time.
Is it Uriah?
One last shot in the dark. Nope, not Uriah Faber.
I got nothing.
Number 5, outright with 5 KO TKO wins, Doo-Ho Choi.
Oh.
Yep. Difficult pull on that one. I know. Like I said, one of those names we don't hear too often. He had some time off. Number 6. Well, tied for number 6. First one on the list for the tie for number 6. Very heavy striker. Outside the UFC, doing bare knuckle right now. Possibly coming back to the UFC. I've heard that he is. Jeremy Stevens. Huda Fook at number 6.
One of the greatest lines ever.
Who the fuck is that?
That was going to be my next clue. I was trying not to give it away too easy.
Man.
Number 8 in the tie for number 6 with also 4. I think probably the only one you guys aren't going to be able to get. Well, there's 2 of them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. You guys are killing it. 2 of them I think are going to be very difficult because you just would not assume these guys are on it. The other 2 I think you guys can get. So number 8 on this one, tough. He was an old school guy. Ricardo Lamas tied for number 6 also. The other tough one is a guy that's current, actually. A guy that's put together 4 KO wins fairly quickly. Steve Garcia. Did not see that one coming. The last two both tied for 6 with 4 KO TKO wins each. One of them, another California guy, Team Alpha Male guy. He has fought just about everybody. He is bouncing back and forth with wins as of late, but he's a tall, lanky striker, and he actually has one of the highlight reel KO losses against Yair Rodriguez, the jumping switch kick loss.
I thought you were talking about I thought you were going with the elbow.
Nope, not the elbow on this one. But he's a big booty Latinas.
Dana White.
Dana does not have 4 KOs yet. Most notable line I can give you.
I can see his face at the press conference saying it.
One of our boys, California boy, always getting hyphy, and that's the most obvious clue I can give without giving it away.
Andre Feely?
Boom! Sniped it, Andre Feely, baby.
Hey.
Shout out to the boy Feely. Shout out to Dre. And shout out to big booty Latinas everywhere. Last one on the list. This one should be fairly easy once I give you the hints. New England Cartel.
I want to go with Dana White again.
Dana White is not on this list. Not on this list.
Drew, every time I hear Andre Feely, I think of that video you did, man. Stuck in my brain.
Yes, sir.
Seared in there.
Yes, sir. As do I. Good times. New England Cartel, 4 KOs, tied for 6th. Hitting rough patches lately. Recently lost a decision that was hard to watch. Best boxer in the UFC, baby.
Rob Font?
Nope. Close. The other one.
Calvin Kattar?
Calvin Cater rounding out the list. Bang, boom.
He started off like a fucking firework. He was going nuts.
Yep. Yeah, Calvin Cater at a tie for number 6. He's sitting at 4. Hopefully he's able to move that up. All anybody has to do is get one more KO, and then they're bumped up to number 6 all time. Featherweight is just competitive as hell, man.
Rob Font's not on that list. That's crazy.
Nope. We got Holloway, Swanson, Mendez, McGregor, Duho Choi, Jeremy Stevens, Aldo Lamas, Korean Zombie, Feely, Yair, Steve Garcia, Josh Emmett, Volkanovski, Ige, Cater, Taporia. So he's got to be close. He's got to be tied for 7th, I would assume. Some of those were difficult, especially with all those ties, but as I expected, you guys killed it. You guys did great on that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to wrap it up for this UFC 314 episode. Appreciate you guys for joining us. Thank you everyone for watching. Everyone that is returning as a subscriber, thank you so much for the support. We love you and appreciate you. And anybody who is seeing us for the first time, hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and hit subscribe. If you did, come join us every single week and hit subscribe so that you're the first to know when these weekly episodes drop. We always drop them as early as possible so you can get those bet picks in as early as possible. And don't forget to follow us over on Instagram at the Fight Pit Podcast. You can see all of our records, all of our picks early, all the latest news, all the latest confirmed news. We got you. That is going to be it. Any final parting words from you guys? Gage?
God, I'm so happy to be back.
It is so good to have you back, dude. It is so good to have you back. I missed you so damn much, dude.
Now I just need to go 6-0 on picks, hit a parlay or two, have Sean hit a parlay but not hit his picks, and Drew can keep balance somewhere in between.
I am inevitable. Sean, any parting words from you, brother?
It's good to be back on top.
Where you are used to being. Not surprised at all. It was nice to see everything from the top of the mountain, but I'm back to the climb. So we're all chasing Sean again. Great work, fellas. I missed you guys. I will see you again next week. As always, thank you all for tuning in. We will see you right back here for the next one. Peace.
They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am, who don't understand. Yeah, that's overdue.